Welcome back to the Sam the Spiritist YouTube channel. I'm Sam the Spiritist, and I'm a 21 Divisions Voodoo Priestess and reader. So, today's message of the day from Spirit is about your prosperity and your wealth and your abundance. Let's see what they have to say. My spirits are very blunt. I read intuitively, don't have a particular order, just whatever I'm guided to do. So, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And if you enjoyed this reading, leave a comment, make sure to like the video, share it with somebody else you think can benefit from it. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links below and ways in which you could do so. First card is Midnight. Time, magical hours. Feeling about particularly opportunities and performance of magic. I'm also in our tradition, it's called a Bokor. So that's a magician. So when I see stuff like this, it reminds me and makes me think that the reading is going to be talking more about magic. So for those of you who are interested in magic, perform magic for yourself, or get workings that are magical done with other people who are also magicians in one way or another, this is going to tell you about some magic that you may be either needing to do in order to obtain your wealth, your prosperity and abundance, or magic that you were supposed to do, maybe personally, and you missed an opportunity. It was this is magic that would be done during the witching hour. It's a very, very powerful hour for witches. If you are a witch, this is probably going to be talking about magic that you have done for yourself or need to be doing for yourself. So let's see what else Spirit has to say here. Interesting. The witching hours and then dawn. Between the witching hour and dawn, the light after the darkness. Also, this can pertain to protection that may need to be done of your energy during the hours of midnight to dawn, which is usually somewhere in the 6 a.m. hours, depending on where you are in the world, right? Also, the owl, the reason I mentioned protection is owl is a symbol of protection for some, and also a messenger. Could be a messenger of danger. Some people see them as a bad omen. They can be perceived in multiple ways depending on your background and your spiritual and magical knowledge. I see it in this particular card here as indicating, since its placement is after magic, a need for protection, not as a messenger of a bad not as a bad omen or a messenger of bad news per se, just as a reminder of needing to protect yourself when you're doing magical work, needing to also protect yourself while you go to sleep. Sometimes your energy is siphoned while you sleep. A lot of times, not just sometimes, a lot of times. So if you don't have protective work going on, if you find yourself waking up very early, at midnight, 12, different hours between midnight and dawn, like 12, 3, 4, especially if you see angel numbers when you're waking up, they're messages of needing more protection while you sleep and to protect your energy. But if you're not sleeping during those hours and you have energy, they're also suggesting it's a good time for you to be doing magical workings for yourself, casting, spells for protection, casting spells against your enemies during the witching hours, casting spells, preferably more so things that you don't want other people to see during the witching hours are very strong. Divine justice type workings, return to sender workings are very strong. I do these a lot during these hours for myself and my clients, during the hours in which most of the other people are asleep, because it will be even more effective as well on your target, okay? Now, this is another owl. wise seeing, wise action. But if you notice, it was in the reverse position after these two, indicating that the predecessor cards are things that you haven't been doing. So have not been utilizing these magical hours for yourself, either through your workings of your own, if you're a witch, or through working with somebody else to do the workings that you need, such as a spiritual worker or other witch that is capable and qualified to do that for you in order to protect you. Also, not being able to remember your dreams and not being able to remember your dreams pretty clearly, just feeling very scrambled, is a very big sign that your energy needs work. Your energy and your spiritual life need work. Could be signs of psychic attacks. It could be signs of astral realm attack or astral realm work that your higher self is trying to do, that may be exhausting for you, especially when you can't remember it. It means that you usually are being attacked through the astral realm, and that could be from a number of different entities or people that are living trying to attack you while you're sleeping through the astral realm, other magicians, dark magicians, negative people. So these hours are very important. Pay attention to the midnight to dawn hours and protect yourself more. And if you're a witch or a spiritual worker yourself, utilize these hours to do defensive magic, protection, return to sender type spells, or if you get them from somebody else, if you get spells or spell kits from somebody else, these are the times to light those type of workings, those spells up. These are also the time for you to place protection beneath your pillow. So protective talismans, protective satchels of different protective herbs that would be beneficial for you to put under your pillow. Make sure that you are doing that. Because it's clear here that you're not, and there's a need for it, especially if you're waking up, like I said, drained and you can't remember your dreams, and you feel more and more exhausted as time goes on, okay, more and more out of it, okay, and unclear. Definitely needs some sort of cleansing and then protection work done. So do it with, either do it for yourself if you know how, or I'll put resources in the description box below for things that I may be able to offer and other people that I know and trust may be able to offer for you, okay, to help. This says the lamp. Remembrance. See, I just talked about dreams and not remembering your dreams, and this came upside down. So, and it came beneath the midnight hour. So this is indicating for me that I was correct, that the remembrance, you're not remembering, and especially the lamp and the candles in the background here making me feel, this kind of reminds me of like a, this kind of reminds me of like a vigil, the energy of a vigil, or like your spirit guides, your benevolent ancestors are trying to bring you messages, trying to help you to remember, but it's like they can't get through. You need to, you need to do everything that I was just mentioning that Spirit set up here in these 3 cards, followed by you need to light candles for, light a white candle, often for your benevolent ancestors. And I talked in a previous reading, I think in yesterday's message of the day, I talked about the need for honoring, serving, feeding your benevolent ancestors, because they are the foundation of protection for any spiritual tradition. And a lot of people don't talk about it, and they go right into working with deities and angels and different spirits and stuff, and they want to go right towards that, and they're skipping over the most important foundational layer, which is ancestor work. The ancestors can work closest to you. They are the most recently dead, and they have the easiest capability, the easiest route towards bringing you divine guidance and getting you, being your first in line, your first command in your defensive army of spirits, if you work with them and you serve them properly. If you don't know how to do that, I have a link for a video below to a course that somebody I know, love and trust, will be able to teach you how to do that properly, okay? I have a couple of resources below. in the description box. How to work with your ancestors is going to be very important. A lot of people don't realize, but as time goes on, more and more people are going to realize just how very important it is. And the world is going to become much more spiritually aware of these practices, and all these things will be coming back more and more mainstream very, very soon, okay? So get on it now, because they're trying to communicate with you and you're missing all the messages. You're missing them. And they hold the keys to your money. Your ancestors have your money. But there are things that you need to do to protect yourself and to receive their messages, so you know the actions on a day-to-day basis, on a personal level, of what you need to be doing. You need to be able to be tapped in with your spirits if you really want to be able to be in the flow and be able to get to your bag. Okay. The winter card. Inaction, too much inaction. There's a season for everything, but they're saying that you need to remember that the seasons come and go. Every year they change, and if you're not taking action on what needs to be done, you can't expect anything to be different for you in the next season. The winter season, which we just came out of, is extremely important, and a lot of people think, oh, it's just a time to like do nothing. No, for certain works, like magically, I'm a magician, so let's talk about magic. A lot of magic can be done in the winter. However, certain works, certain spells won't be very successful during the frozen months, especially those for certain ones for drawing things. So you need to utilize a lot of fire magic during the winter because of the cold and the frozen nature of the earth and the slowing down and how everything's dying. You're going through a death cycle. If you're trying to attract anything in the winter, you're better doing it. You're gonna have to either try harder, much, much harder. And that includes not just in magic, but if you're trying to apply for jobs in the winter, if you're trying to move in the winter, if you're trying to get new opportunities of any kind, communications can even be more difficult in the wintertime because everything is dying. Everyone is going through death cycle. Everybody is supposed to be going inward and being introspective and having stillness on this earth. And during that time, there are holidays that are very important, and connecting with the ancestors is extremely important during those times. Protection is very important during those times. During the fall and the winter, a lot of negative spirits also roam the earth. So protection, it's the darkest time of the year. Okay, the sun is the farthest away. So there's a lot of stillness and protective energy and introspection that's supposed to be done. Not as much work. Not as much work to attract, not as much work to become prosperous and get new opportunities. You have to think of everything in your life in alignment with the seasons. So when you want a new job, you can think about it. It's good to think about it and reflect and plan changes in the winter. But the time when when it's really good to act on those particular things is in the spring and in the summer. Plant your seeds. I've always said this, plant your seeds in the spring, nourish them, tend to your garden throughout the spring and the summer. Okay? Watch them grow, watch your opportunities grow, and collect your harvest by fall. I've said this before quite a few times in my readings. Okay? But the winter right now is not just a time to be still and take no action. A lot of people get very lazy or depressed in the winter because they don't have enough vitamin D and sunlight, etc. However, if you're not doing the introspection and planning the changes that you're going to be taking in the next season and going forward for the next year, your money can't possibly expand. If you're missing the opportunity on winter, or you're inactionable on other guidance that Spirit has given you. This is just multiple meanings that I'm talking about on this card that are coming out. So winter is done now. The season is over. We are in spring 2025. It is time. It's already past due now. You should have planted your seeds on the spring equinox. Okay? If you have not yet, if you have not planted your seeds of what new opportunities and started doing any type of manifestation or applications that you're supposed to be submitting if you're looking for a new job and communicating with somebody in your workplace, now is the time. You're already coming out of the equinox energy. You're going to have a harder time if you delay any further. So get on it. Everything happens has to happen in a certain window of time for the best result. Otherwise, you're going to continue to find yourself feeling behind. So this is telling me that you've paused for too long, and you're going to continue to experience the same things with no different result if you continue to be inactionable. Action, action, action. Fortune meets opportunity. Fortune meets opportunity. But you have to act on the opportunities, okay? You must allow yourself to act when you see something that you want. You can't put out into the universe doubt, fears, worries, negative self-talk. That's never going to get you anywhere. And you may do that or be in a cycle or in a pattern of doing negative self-talk, doubt, because you have spiritual work that you have had to do, but you haven't done it yet. And we talked about that yesterday in yesterday's message of the day. And that's also could be in your way, is not breaking generational curses, not breaking, cutting cords with people that you need to cut cords with so that you can move on. Hello, we want the bag. Like, we can't just sit around and fumble a bag because you don't want to let somebody go, or because you're worried about, X, Y, and Z, or you're worried about what people will think, or you're afraid to take a little leap of faith. How long are these excuses going to be justifiable? Until the day you die? And then you're going to come back and do it again? Like, make it make sense. Fortune meets opportunity. The money and the opportunities are there, but you're just not taking advantage of them. Like, you're passing over opportunities repeatedly. They're being brought to you. Messengers, the black cat is a messenger of good fortune, and you're perceiving. It's interesting. The way I'm seeing this is the black cat is like, a lot of people think that they're a bad omen as well. I have 3 black cats. I love black cats, and they brought me nothing but good luck and protection in a time when I extremely needed it bad. Okay, the black cat brings you good luck. It brings you good fortune. It brings you protection. They are spiritual and magical creatures. They are messengers. They help to keep negative spirits away, negative energies away, alert you of negative energies. And if you're not paying attention to the signs, in general, they're making me just feel like signs have been coming to you. Black cat is a sign that may be relevant to some of you, but just in general, opportunities for fortune have been coming to you in different signs that the universe and your spirit guides and angels have been sending your way. And you're just missing the signs, or you're just not acting on the signs. And that's why some people, very small amount of people, the 1%, get ahead and get rich and get wealthy and become what most people call the elite. And then the 99% are the rest of the world that are not multimillionaires, are not billionaires, because they didn't pay attention to the signs. They didn't follow through on the divine plan. They didn't take the messages that Spirit was giving them. They didn't act when they got the sign or when they saw the opportunity. 99%. But the 1% does. The 1% doesn't need signs over and over again before they act. The 1% stays in the flow, learns as learns and grows every single day. And when they do have somebody, whether that's a coach, a mentor, a boss, a spiritual advisor, giving them the blueprint, they act on it. They don't need to see somebody else's blueprint or 20 other people's blueprint. They act on it. Some people will watch this reading and there'll be like one person, one of you, maybe two today, who act, truly listen, and it deploy changes that were suggested. And then there'll be like a few dozen people who watch this and who don't. And they'll go and they'll either forget about it or they'll go watch somebody else's reading and see what else. And then what's going to happen is they're going to get so distracted and confused because you're getting mixed signals or you're getting overwhelmed by all of the information. And some of the things that you're looking for were meant for you here, and what you're going and looking for in somebody else's video may not be meant for you, but may be meant for different people. And you are passing over the information that you were divinely guided to right now because you're too busy looking for more and more signs, and you're not actionable. You're just consuming at this point. So are you a 1%er or are you a 99%er? Put in the comments below. 1% or 99%? Are you actionable and accountable? Or are you just airy and all over the place? So those are the things that are blocking you right now, that Spirit wanted to make you aware of regarding your money today. Lack of protection, psychic attacks in your dream state, need for protection and clearing of your energy so that you can feel back on track, so that you can feel and hear and see more of the guidance, be more in the flow with your spirit guides. See, this one was wise seeing and wise action. So when you see something, you act on it, not get the message and then forget about it. Life happens, life gets in the way, but there's only so many days and times that you can say, oh, life happened, it got in the way, I couldn't do it. Then there's no point, if that's going to be the excuse for everything, then there's no point to keep watching readings like this every day or every week or every month. Because we're not the ones who need to do the action. You are. That's the message of the day from Spirit. Opportunity is available to you all the time. It's just a matter of doing the actions, making the changes in the moment, not later, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, because before you know it, it's next year. And for some people who've known me, or that I've known through, my spouse, I see some people that it's been 7 years. It's been almost 10 years. And the same thing. Nothing. Doing nothing. And still complaining about that. Lack of X, Y, and Z. And expecting a different result. Okay? Nothing changes if you don't change. That's the message today. Many blessings. Like, subscribe, share this video with somebody who needs to hear the message. And let me know in the comments below if you're a 1%er or a 99%er. And what you're going to do after watching this video. Many blessings to you all, and I'll see you in the next video.